Hello friends and beautiful people of the internet, welcome back to my channel. I don't really know what today's video is going to be titled, but recently I've been thinking a lot about death and my relationship to death as a person. And when I say death, I don't mean death in the physical sense, I mean it more in a metaphorical sense. So death is a tricky one, both physical and metaphorical. I mean, I can vividly remember the first time, like as a kid, that I really realized that, oh fuck, like I am genuinely going to die. And I can still feel it. If I think about it too hard, like I can feel the terror that I felt as a kid. And, you know, now that I'm an adult and it is just a fact, it's obviously something that you have to come to terms with. And I think there's a beauty in death, really. You know, beyond just like the release and the returning back to the environment, and then the possibility of, you know, karmic cycles or reincarnation or an existence beyond the physical body. Like, I think death in and of itself is beautiful, and I think the cycle, both metaphorical and physical, is amazing. You know, it allows for rebirth, it allows for the growth of the new. You know, like here in Australia, we get like big bushfires where heaps of the plant and environment dies, but those are necessary because from the ashes, that's where the new growth comes. And that's what I visualize when I think of death through a metaphorical sense. I don't think of it as, oh yeah, here's my life and I die. I think of it more so as, here's me, this identity, this version of me, this path that I'm on. And that has died and now has given new growth to me. But yeah, I've definitely felt it within myself, this death and rebirth cycle, and I'm sure everyone who is watching this has as well. You know, I think about versions of myself which I felt super concrete in my identity with, you know, when I was a child, when I was like 16, even, you know, like when I just finished high school. Like, you feel like your identity and your life path and what you want is so permanent in that moment, but then you take a step back and you look at it and you realize that your life is fluid. It doesn't have to be this one continuous, you know, oh, I'm born, and then this, and I die. You know, and that's where I think the metaphorical death really shines. You know, it's the Sylvia Plath fig tree analogy. I'll put it right here, you know. Outstretched before me on every branch of the fig tree was a new life, where you can be X, Y, and Z. And that's what I mean by metaphorical death. It's the ability to live a nonlinear life, to branch out and be everything. Obviously, you can't be everything, you know, and that's a desire that I think a lot of people have. Everyone wants to do everything and try everything and be everyone. At least, maybe not everyone, but me personally, I feel as though I do. And I feel like that's a strong desire in a lot of people. And metaphorical death, in a sense, allows you to do that. You can end the pathway that you're currently on. You can end the identity, you know, and it can be growth on top of who you are as a person, or it can be a completely different shift. You're not bound by the constraints of your identity or your career or your life as it is now. You know, your life exists as a million different timelines if you want it to be. It doesn't have to be start, middle, end. It can be start and then this, and I'm doing this, and then no, I'm doing this, and I am this, and I am this. We're not bound by the labels of who we are, our careers, our friend groups, you know, our personal identities. And I think in order to really embrace that fluidity as a human being, you have to be open to accepting death. Death in the physical sense, you know, because there's a sense of urgency of, I can't be complacent in myself. I can't just allow my life to slip me by. You know, I have to take action to build what I want. Well, build what I want, but live how I want more so. But then also metaphorical, you have to be able to accept that this version of me isn't permanent, and how I feel now isn't what I'm going to feel forever. And being open to dying, in a sense, you know, to letting this version of yourself go, your connections go if they have to, your town that you're in go, you know, whatever it is that is so bound to your personal identity now, you have to be open to that going, because that's just the nature of life, I feel. And okay, granted, I am young, you know, so maybe it is for older people, and I would love to hear in the comments if it is true, because, you know, I might be wrong. Shit, it's my first time living, I don't know. But I don't think that you can view your life as a single linear timeline, you know. And I think that that's what people get caught up in, the 3-act structure that we're so used to in media, where you have an introduction, you know, the exciting bit, the crisis, and then the conclusion. You know, you have your childhood, your early life, and then your career and your success and your family, and then your retirement and your death. And I don't think that that is personally the life that I want to lead at this point. I don't know. And I think that a lot of people get trapped almost in that 3-act structure, and they're trapped by the fear of death almost. I'm not quite sure how to word what I'm feeling, but yeah, I don't know. You know, there's that famous quote, what is it? Everyone has 2 lives and the second begins when they realize they're going to die. But I would offer a counterpoint, which would be, everyone has a million lives, which can only be embraced when you dance with death. So yeah, that's it for today's video. This is just my opinion, some thoughts that I've been having, and just, I don't know, a feeling that I've had recently. I would love to hear anyone else's experiences with this sort of feeling. And, you know, if you think that I'm wrong, I would love to hear it. I would love to have a sort of discussion or hear differing viewpoints. Yeah, if you watched this far, I love you. Take care of yourself. And yeah, peace.